Let's get on a topic that's slightly more lighthearted, shall we? Making fun of Matt Walsh. Something that will always bring me infinite joy. So this video, I guess, got some traction on twitter.corn. 11 million views, 10,000 replies, 10,000 likes, a few thousand quote tweets. And we'll watch the video in a second. But it's a person talking about how a 40-hour work week is too many hours. It's just too many. Matt Walsh tweets out, honestly, it boggles my mind that so many people think 40 hours of work a week is a lot. That leaves you 5 or 6 waking hours a day during the week to yourself and 2 full days on the weekend. How much more free time do you think you really should have? Let's run the numbers here really quickly, okay? Let's run the numbers here really quickly. So 24 hours in a day for 7 days, 168 hours, okay? Let's say you get the bare minimum 8 hours of sleep. Okay, that's 56 hours. 168 minus 56. Okay, and then subtract another 40 for working. Okay, then subtract at least another 5 hours for commuting. Just on average. Let's just pretend like your commute is a 30-minute commute there and then a 30-minute commute back. Some people obviously have more, some people have less. Let's just do an hour a day of commuting. Okay? All right. So 5 hours. That leaves you with 67 hours left. Okay? Oh, that's so much time. What about all the time that's spent, staying alive and being a functioning human being? Cleaning, cooking, going shopping, like even just for groceries, taking care of your kids, going to doctor appointments. What about all this other shit? Oh, right. You don't do any of that shit, Matt Walsh, because your job that you work, this is it. Reviewing woke kids shows. And then you have assistants that take care of everything for you. And anything that isn't covered by an assistant is probably being done by your wife. Absolute stupidity. So let's watch the original video, okay?
Why is it that I have to work 40 hours a week just so I can have a place to live? 40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660. So I work 40 hours a week so I can have a 2-bedroom apartment and an extra $300 a month. Like, it doesn't cover my phone, internet, food, So not only do I not have any extra money, but just working makes me so exhausted that I don't have time either. Like, I get off work at 5:30, come home, and I'm just so tired. I'm so tired that, like, anything that I need to do outside of work, I then just push off to, like, the weekend. And I'm like, I'm just too tired to do this after work. I'll wait until Saturday. So then I end up with so much to do on the weekend that ends up having to be split into 2 days. So I have to do stuff on both Saturday and Sunday. So then I don't get a day off. I don't get a day to relax. I don't get to decompress. So it is really like working 7 days a week. Constantly. And I don't want to do that anymore, right? Like, I don't care how poor and miserable I would have to be, but I literally can't have a place to live without this, you know? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm not made for this. I don't have the money, time, or energy to enjoy my life outside of work, and I don't know what to do about it anymore, you know? I'm so tired.
So, in my opinion, the biggest problem with the 40-hour work week nowadays is that there used to be a time in America where you worked 40 hours a week and you made enough money that you got to enjoy life. Nowadays, you work 40 hours a week to exist. There was a period of time where you would clock in your 40 hours and then you could afford going to a concert because bills are not a concern, rent is not a concern, food is not a concern, etc. It's just like, oh yeah, no, that's all taken care of. Ooh, you know what? We should go to a concert this Saturday. Honestly, and you know what? Since I have the free spare money to do it, let's go do something on Sunday as well. You get to actually use all the time that you worked on having fun because you have excess income. And it motivates you to work because it doesn't feel like you're showing up to work to live. It felt like you were showing up to work so you can enjoy a nice vacation at the end of the year. You were showing up to work so you can enjoy your weekends and go out in the town. Nowadays, the grind set mindset culture where you can't ever buy any coffee ever because that's delaying your retirement and you should never have any free time that is spent not making money. You want to get a Starbucks coffee? Too fucking bad. You shouldn't get one. You should be saving your money. It's like, oh, so I just show up to this job, work my ass off, get berated all day so I can go home and then make food, take a shower, go to sleep, and then do it all over again so that I can live. Even if you love your work, you need time off. You need time off where you spend that time doing nothing and you just relax. People are not meant to work every single day for years and years and years. You're not supposed to do that. That's not your brain is not meant to do that. You need time. No one realizes their own personal enjoyment of life, fostering a connection with nature and people, family, friends is an essential part of being a human being. No, you are a human being. You think you're a human being? No, you are a cog in the machine, and you are going to make Bezos more money now. Okay? He needs to go to the moon. Just work after hours, learn more bullshit, and read technical manuals that some cunts at the top can make money off of your sweat and blood. Yeah. Yeah. And the sad thing about this is people always see these videos and just start bootlicking like crazy. Why are you defending the people that want to work you to the bone? Why? I think there's some mix of survivorship bias and oh man, I always forget what it's called, but let me see if I can pull it up. There was a study that came out a while back about how victims of bullying are less empathetic to people that are currently getting bullied. So counterintuitive, right? You would think that the people who've also gone through bullying would be more empathetic to those who are currently getting bullied, but in reality, what ends up happening is those people have this mindset of, "Well, I did it, you can do it too." Like the student loan stuff, yeah. I wish I could find the specific study that I found that I read a while back on that because it was really interesting. Like how no one is meaner to fat people than ex-fat people. It sucks because when you try and look this up, it just shows how bullies are less empathetic, but that's not what I'm trying to find. Man, if anyone could find it, please post it. I would appreciate it. I would. Would that be related to the Monopoly study? No, I don't think so. It was a completely separate one. I just can't find it.
Reject modernity. I now live in the forest. My landlord is a bear. Rent is 100 acorns, 10 a pound of berries per month. Life is good grog.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, this is so annoying. This is it, I think? Mm, investigated whether children's empathy for a specific classmate depended on the children's own bullying involvement. That is, we tested whether bullies victims slash bully victims and non-involved children differed in cognitive and affective empathy for these specific peers because previous research on this association yielded inconsistent results. This test was exploratory. We did not expect an interaction between the bullying role and gender of the empathizing children, as few gender differences have been found in the association between bullying involvement and empathy. Previous research indicates that emotion-related processes depend on target characterization. Therefore, we hypothesize that the bullying role of the target plays a role in how much empathy children feel for him or her. Furthermore, we expected that the effect of the target bullying role might depend on the empathizer's own bullying role. Thus, we tested whether bully/victims, and non-involved children differed in their cognitive and affective empathy for other bullies. Okay. Can I get to the sauce? Oh, here we hypothesized that victims would have less empathy for bullies and bully/victims than non-involved children, because victims might be likely to understand, maybe less likely to understand and experience the emotions of children who are able to harm other children. Hypotheses regarding bully victim were exploratory. On the other hand, okay. Oh, I'm so curious. One second. Guys, is it okay if I just read this right now? Because I'm really curious. I wanna see. I think this actually was it, but I could be mistaken. Uh, okay. We first tested whether bully victims, okay. In general, we averaged, we tested whether children within each type of bullying involvement differentiated in their cognitive and affective empathy between other children based on their role. The effect of participation and participant gender and target gender were also examined. In this design, each participant represented a unique combination of bullying involvement and gender. Because empathy towards the self was not measured, there were no measures of empathy for a target. Same bullying involvement. Okay. For bullies, the main effective target bullying role was significant for both cognitive and affective empathy. Post hoc tests revealed that bullies had less empathy for victims and bully/victims than for non-involved children. This effect of target bullying role was not further qualified. Okay. For victims, the main effect of target bullying role was significant for both cognitive and affective empathy. Victims had less empathy for bullies and bully/victims than for non-involved children. Both effects were further qualified by target gender. With regard to girl targets, victims had less cognitive and affective empathy for bully/victims than for non-involved girls. This doesn't talk about what I'm talking about, though. Darn it. No. Grr. You can read it. I'm waiting for the movie. Oh gosh. Anyways, I can't find it. I'm not gonna be able to find it. I'm not gonna try it. It'll take me hours before I'm able to find something this fucking abstract. The TLDR is that people who go through traumatic experiences but survive default to the stance of, I did it, you can do it too, grow the fuck up. Yeah, you know what? Well, I suffered in silence for a decade working 40-hour work weeks. So am I supposed to care? Am I supposed to give a fuck? When in reality, it seems like you would think that the opposite is true. You would think that the people who've dealt with like bad situations would be more empathetic to the people that are currently dealing with that bad situation. Like someone who's dealt with cancer is going to be empathetic to someone who is currently going through cancer. But when it comes to things like bullying or things like the workforce, that's just not what happens. Is it that people who go through traumatic experience don't realize that it was traumatic? I think it's that they don't want to accept that it was traumatic. I will say it took me a while to stop thinking like that and thinking with that puny brain mindset of, well, I got through it, you can get through it too. After I like learned that this is just a terrible bias that exists in your brain, I was like, oh shit, this is cringe. Oh God, I'm being cringe, aren't I? Even happens in trans communities. Many older trans folk end up being very resentful to youngers because of the perceived access they have that the olders didn't have. Yeah. I feel like that's also how generational trauma happens too, because parents will be like, I had it bad this way, and so you should suck it up with what you're going through to their children. Yeah. It's not counterintuitive if you consider that there's an ego response. Lack of empathy is first directed towards themselves to get through their own circumstances, and that's how they treat others in those circumstances. Yeah. I think it's also that you feel a little robbed when you went through something difficult and no one was there to help you. It feels like the world is really unfair for other people to get helped, but no one gave a fuck about you. But I feel like you should take a step back when it comes to work weeks. My policy on a lot of political topics is if I ever see myself dipping my toes into a political ideology, I look around the room and see the other people that engage with this political theory. And if I don't like what I'm looking at, I take a step back. And if I like what I'm looking at, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is cool. Maybe these people are normal. Sort of like the age of consent people. You can be a complete academic, and your only concern is with brain development and what is a fair age of consent. Should it be higher? Should it be lower? Whatever. That you only care about like human psychology. You have no interest in fucking, let's go all the way. You are aromantic, asexual. There's no attraction that you experience towards anyone at all. And your entire desire to talk about this is simply, I enjoy the academic conversation regarding this. But then you look around the room and you realize the only other people that are talking about age of consent are pedophiles. And then you take a step back and you're like, actually, I'm good. Actually, you guys aren't normal. You guys are really not normal. So anyways, literally this though, my brother didn't go to college and worked at a restaurant. It took me longer than I'd like to admit to learn not to put down his opinions and venting about work and coming off as having had it worse because I went to college and work a hard STEM job. All jobs are hard, work sucks. Yeah. 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 But that's also why I guess I adopted leftism pretty early because I looked around at like most of the left, and most of the left, their stance is I just want the world to be a better place and I just want people to be safe and happy and have access to the things that they need. And so long as no one is being hurt or harmed, we should let people do what they want to do. And then I looked at conservatives and their stance is, no, we want to stop women from having abortions. You want to have an elective surgery we shouldn't be allowed to. Oh, you think you're allowed to have sex with someone of the same gender? Well, think again. And it was such a sad look. Just, that's so pathetic that you care so much about things that don't matter at all. Oh. Mm. So, my mom was very successful after being a single mom, so she shames me for working as a barista and shopping at Aldi. Yeah. We're so separated from finding any worth or meaning in our work. We either need meaning or we need to not work 8 to 12 hours a day. Yeah, because you can easily work 8 to 12 hours a day as long as it's something that you feel passionate about and you don't feel like all of your money is just going to some fucking piece of shit bigwig. You know? Why would what? Who the fuck wants to do that? Who? Not to mention lunch used to be part of those 8 hours. Bro, don't even get me started, man. Don't even get me fucking started, bro. Fucking, I could. And the reality is, most bosses nowadays are like this. I don't know how many of you guys saw this video. This shit made my blood boil. Shit made my blood boil.
When asked to come in for an 8 a.m. meeting, my Gen Z new hire said, "Ugh, sorry, I can't make it. I have a workout class. Should this be allowed?"
My visceral reaction was, are you fucking kidding me?
No, fully, like angered, typing this out. I was like, please.
Like my hand's shaking and it's not from the caffeine.
You just started this job. I don't give a flying shit about your workout class. Also, an 8 a.m. workout class is too late. Workout at 6,
Yeah.
maybe 7.
Hi, yeah, Natalie. So we can talk about this more later, but I'm gonna address this now. It was made very clear during the interview process that the working hours for this position is between 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I am on Eastern time. I made that very clear with HR because I have commitments outside of work. I go to the gym, I work out because I care about my health. Sure, I can make a sacrifice to go to an 8 a.m. meeting had I known at least a week before that I needed to go at 8 a.m., not a day before. Also, my workout class starts at 7:30, not at 8, but I didn't know that I needed to tell you that. Okay, let's just say I skipped the gym. 2 things. When can I expect you to reimburse me for my class? And 2, are you going to be paying me from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., or at the very least, let me leave at 4 p.m.? Natalie, if your answer to both of those are no, then there's no discussion needed. I will see you at 9 o'clock today. Also, I sent an email to HR about this and sent them the link to that TikTok video. So, just to make things clear.
But he ate. But he ate. Is this guy number 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Please don't leave. I can change. I can be better. Okay, I can change. I'm trying. uh, anyways. You're expected to work 40 hours a week for employers that don't give a fuck about you and are actively trying to take as much of your labor as they can for as cheap as they can. You don't have any free time or free money to do anything.
More bad jokes.
You probably are not going to be able to retire in current America. And that's if you even get hired. The biggest lie my generation told us was how we can do anything we want when we grow up, when in reality, most degrees aren't marketable and universities hide that from you. And now anything outside of finance, tech, or healthcare is almost impossible to get into. It's dystopian. And this is a video from, I guess, some random lady on TikTok. It says, today this girl is handing out her resume in New York. She has 2 degrees in communications and acting. She's applying for minimum wage jobs and having a hard time getting one.
This is the most humbled I've ever felt in my life. I'm literally holding resumes, a stack of them, so that I can go in person to places and say, are you guys hiring? It's honestly a little bit embarrassing because I'm literally applying for like minimum wage jobs, and some of them are being like, we're not hiring, and it's like, what? This is not what I expected. I graduated college with 2 degrees in communications and acting. I speak 3 languages. Oh, this sucks. Like, I just want to be a TikToker, if I'm being so for real with you. But I can't be delusional anymore. Like, I literally need to make money. And so, I'm just gonna keep trying. This is the most...
This is boomer advice as well. Go into a job and ask for it. Yeah. I would say 99 out of 100 times when you do this, they throw your resume in the garbage. There was this one quote tweet that said, did y'all not see that dude who applied to over 1,000 jobs and only got a response from one of them after the first 700 applications? I need to see this video, dude. I need to see that video. Also, keep in mind our productivity has skyrocketed. We're still working 40 hours a week. We have computers, not typewriters. We have high internet speed, not floppy disks. We have emails, not mail. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've recently started taking on a project management role at work and have been told that I need to meet with the junior staff every morning and afternoon to keep them on track. Too micromanagey for me. So I made daily check-ins that are super casual. One at 8:30 a.m. My manager told me that 8:30 a.m. is prime meeting time and that we should meet at 7:45. Our working hours are 8 to 5. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. 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 Dude, when I was in the job force, my labor was so exploited. I was working 12-hour workdays, and that was not including my commute. My minimum hour commute there, hour commute back. And that is why I am so big on not letting people abuse your fucking labor. All right? Do not. Your employer doesn't give a fuck about you at all. At all. They would pay you peanuts if they could. They would pay you in pizza if they could. Don't put in extra work and effort for someone who wishes they could pay you less. If they could find someone that would be willing to do your job for a dollar less, they would hire them immediately and fire you. Ex-chef, 13, 15-hour shifts here, never going back. Fuck that. Dude, everybody I know who has worked in a kitchen has talked about how it is the worst job to ever have, ever. I feel so bad for every single person who has ever had to work in a kitchen. That shit sounds like hell. I don't ever want to live like that. And I'm sorry that all of you ever had to live like that. 99% of the line cooks I knew have some sort of substance abuse. Yeah. You gotta have the substance abuse and you gotta have the cry walk-in freezer. Are you kidding me? In my experience working in an office, I've had success beating management into respecting my time, but I also don't care about getting fired. Yeah. Straight up, someone told me, or I remember reading it online. I don't remember which it was, but basically you give your, either refuse to give your employer your phone number if you can, or tell them, hey, if you contact me after the hours of 5, I won't be able to get back to you. I won't be able to get back to you until like the next morning. If you contact me between working hours, I will respond. But if you contact me anytime after that, I'm not going to be there. I'm not responding, just so you know. If I clock out at 5 and you text me at 6, I'm not responding. I don't, just want you to know. And try your fucking best to set that boundary as early as you can, as quickly as you can. Because it is absolutely fucked up that now that we have cell phones, employers think that they can have your time at any hour of the day. That you get to be an on-call worker for them, but you don't get paid for that. For real, you'll do it when you realized you being fucked in the ass. My job recently got rid of our house IT because he was doing nothing, and not that bad shit is happening. They think he's sabotaged the place before he left. Oh my god, dude. I'm an independent contractor after work hours. My rate is $50 an hour with a 1 hour minimum. Much harder to reverse the fact after they expect it of you. Yeah. Now, of course, I will just say one thing. Of course, not everyone has this privilege. Some people work, like, unfortunately, retail jobs are very notable for not being good at this because you take on shifts. And for some reason, managers have decided to offload the one job that they have to the workers. But if you work in a fucking office or you work like a consistent 9 to 5, you tell your fucking employer, make up whatever reason you have to and tell them, I'm never going to be able to contact you or get any of your messages after hours. If you need me, you'll have to wait until tomorrow to tell me whatever you need to tell me. I literally just don't answer. Good. I've been around the block a few dozen times on different projects for like network, and you pretty much got to be on the offense, like jail yard rules or some shit. Yeah. It's bullshit that you have to cover other people's shifts. I hated it. Yeah. Did you watch the Veronica skits on TikTok? No. What is this? Is it this person?
Oh my god, a promotion? I never thought I'd see the day.
What are you talking about?
Oh, is that not why I'm here?
Not even
To give me a raise?
No,
Cause I work so hard.
no, God, stop that. Your PTO was denied. Okay?
Oh, okay. I should have known. Well, it wasn't a request anyways.
What?
Oh, I wasn't asking for permission. What am I, 12?
Well, you can't take it during that time because
You know what PTO stands for?
yeah, paid time.
Prepare the others. T, I give you a heads up. You're welcome. That's not how it works. I will not be here.
Veronica, we're not done here.
Good chat. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Okay, but high key, you have to be on the offense though. You have to be on the offense. Once a manager realizes that they can abuse the shit out of you,
Hi, this is Veronica, the escalations manager. Am I speaking to Gertrude?
Yeah, this is Gertrude, but I wasn't aware that I was being transferred to escalations. Why? What's going on?
Yes, I know you weren't necessarily aware that your call was being escalated. It just seemed like you were being a little rude to my agent, so she decided to go ahead and pass along the call.
Well, I find this kind of ridiculous. I find that.
Well, I just need to ask you a quick question. It shows here that we have someone named Merrill as your emergency contact.
Yes, that's my mom. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, if you'll hold on just one moment for me.
Mel?
Hi, my name is Veronica. I'm a supervisor with Random Airlines, and I have your daughter Gertrude on the line.
Oh, no. Is everything okay?
Oh, yes, everything is fine. There's no actual emergency. I'm just calling because your daughter was on the line with one of my call center agents, and she was being extremely rude. And I just feel like this is something that she needs to talk over with her mom, because I'm sure that a sweet lady like you did not raise your daughter to be this rude to somebody that's trying to help her with her flight. It's a new service
sorry, my shit is fucked up.
that we offer when people are being rude to our people.
Miss Veronica, thank you
Oh,
so
it's my
much.
pleasure, Mom. If she ever calls back and does the same thing, you better believe I'll.
I have to go back, guys, because the Bluetooth on my earbuds just went to shit and I didn't hear anything except for so I didn't hear the last like 10 seconds. Give me a sec. Let me actually try and listen to it.
Over with her mom, because I'm sure that a sweet lady like you did not raise your daughter to be this rude to somebody that's trying to help her with her flight. It's a new service that we offer when people are being rude to our people.
Miss Veronica, thank you
Oh,
so
it's my
much.
pleasure, Mom. If she ever calls back and does the same thing, you better believe I'll call you back.
Wait, do you guys hear the cutting off as well, or is it just on my end? Just me, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Good. Good. I'm down to suffer. I don't want you guys to have to suffer. That had such big, I don't even know what to call this energy. I worked like a call center job once, and sometimes I would get people who called who were like really upset, and I'm not even gonna lie, I would just hang up on them. Like once someone started screaming, I was just like, and then if they call again, I'm like, hi, how can I help you? And then they start screaming again, I just keep hanging up. It's like, you gotta give up eventually, right? There's no way you're gonna keep calling. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Please. Be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. We used to do the same shit at my old job. Yeah, it's like, I'm not getting paid to get fucking harassed and abused by you. Excuse you, sir. I don't work retail. I work call center job. Very fucking different. Let me transfer you. Hangs up. You transfer them and leave them on hold for like 20 minutes and then you hang up on them. Waste as much of their time as possible. Because it's like, dude, I'm just some random person that works here. Don't fucking yell at me. Mr. Vahetti? Thank you for the tier 2. Thank you. It's not being evil, guys, okay? It's being based. It's called being fucking based. The speed at which they went from nobody wants to work anymore to they want to work so bad that it's sad is insane. How do you think these dipshit CEOs are going to deal with 1,000+ mass hire with HR skeleton crews? The level of like corner cutting that has taken over the US is sad. It's sad. Firing 80% of the Twitter staff because you think that they don't do anything, and then you realize they do things, and then you like beg them to come back. Interesting. Interesting how that works. Interesting. Those people actually had jobs? No. Yeah. Don't let your fucking employers abuse your labor, guys, okay? Go in and set like standards for yourself. Because if you don't do them, they will take and take and take. Give a fucking boss an inch and they'll take a mile. They'll take fucking 100 miles. All right? Fuck those people. Genuinely. This is also, I think, in like sort of the same vein. Hot take, but if you see your baby struggle through 5 hours of homework and then you get pissy because they drag their feet about doing chores, you need to reevaluate. Like, I'm not saying that kids shouldn't be taught responsibility and how to keep their house clean. I'm just saying that maybe children get tired and frustrated too. Like, your teenager doesn't have an attitude. She just had 7 hours of school and then came home to do 5 more hours. Then her parents implied she was lazy because she hadn't gotten around doing laundry. I would snap at you too. And I'm going to be real. That's FR. That is FR. Okay, it's a little tinfoily. I will admit, this is like one of the few tinfoil theories that I subscribe to a little, just a little. And that is public school being absolute dog shit is not a bug, it is a feature. And the current goal of public school is to make you as, like, I don't want to say as dumb as possible, but to not actually teach you anything that will help you, only to teach you how to show up and not complain. That's not tinfoil, you're just right. This is just based. Because I do think that there are schools, to be very clear, there are a lot of schools. Fuck that, even private schools. I'm only talking about public schools because that's what I experienced. It's possible that it's real in private schools as well. I'm just talking about my experience. There are schools that are good schools that actually care about the kids learning stuff and actually care about like instilling joy in like the concept of learning. Because learning is fun. Learning is one of the funnest things you can do. Also, human beings love mental stimulation. Are you kidding me? It's like we're pre-programmed to hate boredom. But schools nowadays, most schools, it's not. Most of the teachers you get are not trying to help you fall in love with a subject or fall in love with learning. They're just trying to make you sit down, memorize everything that you need to memorize, show up, take the test, and then go back home. And that just feels like preparing you to be a fucking cog in the machine. And it's very sad.
They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hardworking people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hardworking people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't.
Internal class warfare is the biggest scam that people have bought into. The whole blue collar versus white collar shit, it's so infuriating. All labor is labor. As someone who has worked jobs where I've been standing for 8 hours a day or more, and my feet are so sore, they're like so swollen that my sneakers are about to burst at the seams. That was just as exhausting as sitting in front of a fucking computer for 8 hours working as my fucking manager is breathing down my fucking neck. Now, I will say one of those jobs you can continue to do even as you get older. Physical labor, of course, is going to be something that's going to get more and more difficult as you get older. So it's fucked up the way that Social Security basically is not going to exist and pensions are not going to exist. People who work physical manual labor jobs, that's really the most fucked up part about that is that they're going to be expected to do physical labor for the rest of their life. But I will tell you, until like the age of 50, maybe, if you're pretty healthy, menial fucking computer labor is just as exhausting or can be just as exhausting as physical labor. Because it mentally wears you down. Your brain is so fried, you don't have the energy to use your brain to do anything else when you get home. And then there are the worst jobs. Retail. Because they get the best of both worlds. They get to stand all day and do emotional labor all day. So when they go home, they are both mentally and physically exhausted. At the very least, if you are maybe like a plumber or an electrician or maybe you work construction, at least you spend a lot of time with people that are like you and you don't maybe have a manager that's breathing down your neck all the time and you can kind of turn off your brain and you actually get to enjoy going outside. Not to say that there aren't a bunch of negatives, of course, 100%. Of course there are negatives, but at least you're getting some sunlight. Maybe if you work plumbing or something, you work for a company that just outsources you and you get to just go to people's houses and show your ass crack and then go back home. You don't really have to deal with much more else, much more than that, you know? But more importantly, why are we fighting about who is working harder? Why are we not fighting about the fact that none of us are getting paid fairly? If you see that McDonald's workers are going to get paid more than teachers, you shouldn't be getting mad at the McDonald's workers. You should be getting mad for the teachers that are being fucked over. Other laborers are not your enemies, man. Those are not your enemies. I hate it so much, yeah. But who's gonna get mad for the shareholders? They're just small little beans.
They don't care about you at all, at all, at all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
God damn, that line is kind of fire, though. That line is kind of fire, though. Wait a minute. Hey, yo. Wait, that's kind of fire. Oh, hold on. I can't believe conservatives look back at Carlin and they're like, our king. Bro, he didn't like you. You were the last person that he liked. This was hilarious. Austin experimented with giving people $1,000 a month. They spent the no strings attached cash mostly on housing. What? No. Why no? Ain't no way. Are you serious? Are you FR? No. Wow, that's really nice of Austin show. Shut the fuck up. But you think you're real funny. Oh, God. Wasn't there a similar study that showed 1,000 given to homeless yielded like 1,500 back? Yeah. 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 I work 2 jobs. I barely make back my rent, 2,200 for a 1-bedroom. Yay! Poggers! I love working myself to the bone. That's my favorite thing to do. It just infuriates me so much. So it just makes me mauled. Makes me mauled and seethe and cope. So TLDR, fucking do not let your boss take more than they are paying you for. Do not think, oh, but if I push back, like they're going to fire me and like, oh God, like, what if they get upset at me? What if I don't get like a promotion? They were never going to promote you, and going and finding a new worker is too hard.
Hey, D&M Dankies, D&M Dankies, D&M Dankies.
Katsuki, thank you for the 3 months. Thank you. A Canadian study gave $7,500 to homeless people. Here's how they spent it. Newly published peer-reviewed study. When was this? September 2023. It identified 50 people in the Vancouver area who had become homeless in the past 2 years. It's in spring 2018. It gave them each one lump sum of $7,500, and it told them to do whatever they wanted with the cash. Now, to be fair, this isn't $7,500 US dollars. This is 7,500 Monopoly dollars. Very important distinction. Canada isn't real and all that. At first, I thought it was a little far-fetched, too good to be true. I went with one of the program representatives to a bank, and we opened a bank account for me. Even after the money was there, it took me like a week for it to sink in. Over the next year, the study followed up with the recipients periodically asking how they were spending the money and what was happening in their lives. Because they were participating in a randomized randomized controlled trial, their outcomes were compared to those of a control group, 65 homeless people who didn't receive any cash. Both cash recipients and people in the control group got access to workshops and coaching focused on developing life skills and plans. Separately, the research team conducted a survey asking 1,100 people to predict how recipients of an unconditional $7,500 transfer would spend the cash. They predicted the recipients would spend 81% more on temptation goods like alcohol, drugs, or tobacco if they were homeless than if they were not. The results proved that wrong. The recipients of the cash transfers did not increase their spending on drugs, tobacco, or alcohol, but did increase the spending on food, clothes, and rent, according to self-reports. What's more is they moved into stable housing faster, saved enough money to maintain financial security over the year of follow-up. Counter to very harmful stereotypes, we saw people made wise financial choices. The study, though small, offers a counter to the myths that people who become poor get that way because they're bad at rational decision-making and self-control and are thus intrinsically to blame for their situations. Studies have consistently shown that cash transfers don't increase the consumption of temptation goods. They either decrease it or have no effect. What? No. What? Are you serious? No way. Homeless people who are given money try and use that money to stop being homeless? This must be one of those woke studies. I bet they found a bunch of homeless people that had pronouns. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the saddest part is conservatives have 2 brain cells. And when you tell them stuff like this, they're like, where are we going to get the money from? That's nice, liberal. Where are we going to get the money from? You do realize this would save us money, right? The money that is spent on police showing up for altercations or interactions with homeless people, the money that is spent on healthcare for homeless people, the money that is spent on dealing with encampments, all of the money that is spent after the fact, the reactive money, is more expensive than just giving these people money in the short term. Surprise, surprise. If you don't help someone out of a bad situation, if you don't help someone stop being homeless, they're going to be homeless for longer. That is less time of them being in the job force. If you could give them an easy push or just like one helping hand. Surprise, surprise, they'll be able to reintegrate into society sooner. I know, crazy, right? But the thing is, if we start giving homeless people money, then the poor people won't be afraid of becoming homeless anymore. If we treated homeless people with empathy, how are we going to make the poors afraid? You guys think about that? You guys think about that? So stupid. Anyways, okay. I started as a public defender this year. One of my homeless clients has diabetes. He'll sometimes commit a crime just to go to jail because the jail pays for his insulin. Keeping our people poor literally leads to crime. It's just so obvious. Just give people money. It's just a joke. It's just like no one actually cares. None of these people actually care about making the situation better. They just want to be upset. The craziest thing too is I don't even know how people subscribe to the idea that all poor homeless people are lazy and that's why they're homeless. I don't even understand that like the concept. Haven't you heard of people that get like disowned by their families for being gay or for being trans or for daring to be interested in an interracial relationship with racist parents? Like, have you not heard of people who get kicked out of their homes at a very young age before they have any experience, before they have any work experience, any like formal education, and don't have anyone? Kids who grew up in abusive homes? Yeah. What about all of those people? Hello? Not to mention the number of homeless people that have jobs and go to college. Okay, someone fact check me on this. I'm almost 100% certain I saw a study or some research thing. I don't want to call it a study because I'm not 100% sure. Basically saying that some 40% of homeless people have jobs. Oh, is this actually an Octminer? Employed and experiencing homelessness. Have you ever heard the idea that people experiencing homelessness don't want to work or they should just get a job? The truth is, a 2021 study from University of Chicago, okay, what's a study? Estimates that 53% of people living in homeless shelters and 40% of unsheltered people were employed either full or part-time in the year that people were observed homeless between 2011 and 2018. Yeah. There's also a lot of people who live in their cars, and that is considered being homeless, obviously. And there's a lot of people who live in their cars and they just work from their car because they can sleep in their car for free. Renting an apartment isn't free. I did that for a while, for almost a year, yeah. I've lived in my car last year. I've been homeless for a year, so it's interesting to not be able to find a job for a year. Mhm. No, it's not homelessness. It's van living. Yeah. It's sad that in today's day and age, it's good advice to tell someone that if you are concerned that you're gonna get evicted or that you are gonna lose your home, what you should immediately do is go get a Planet Fitness membership. Because all you have to do is pay 15 bucks a month and you get somewhere that you can work out, which is good for your brain and everything. Because sadly, physical exercise makes you have more dopamine, which is good for you. You have a place to shower. You have a place to get water. You have a place to brush your teeth. You have a place that has internet. And those things, like these 5 things alone, will help you so much. $15 a month. It'll help you bounce back sooner. So anyways, yeah, I but like why is it that people have to give this advice? fucked up, man. Truly, truly incredible stuff happening, man. Truly incredible.